Hey y'all! So first up, I really want to thank you for clicking on this video and watching it. It's going to be an adventure, I can promise you that. But first, I do want to give a shout out to Caitlin. Thank you so much for letting me know that there was a problem with my first video. I can't really fix it, but at least we know now there was a problem. So that's great. I do also want to give a shout out to Mackenzie because we are doing today's video at her request, and we will be doing a 4th of July look on the face right here. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to be using is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. Hope you guys can see that. I really like using this primer because of the fact that it is a primer and a skincare in one. When I film these, I have to wait, it's like 10:30 outside right now because obviously I film in front of a large window and the sunlight can mess with the lighting in the video, which I found out the hard way. But this product, the Primerizer, is a skincare and a primer, 2-in-1. So I really like that my skin is getting hydrated while I'm using it, especially when I'm putting it on at the end of the day. So you just get that all nice and massaged in, you know. And then I'm actually going to be using a second primer because I'm high maintenance. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. The Smashbox would totally be enough, but I'm also going to be using my Dr. Brandt Pores No More Luminizing Primer because I am using more of a matte foundation, and I just want a little bit more of a natural look out of it. So putting on a dewy primer helps cancel out that matte look. And I'm only pressing it in on a few different areas. So like my cheek right here where I feel like I need a little bit more of a pore fill. And I'm not swiping it on, I am pressing it in. That way it is actually filling those pores. And I put a little bit on my chin, especially where I have that crease in my chin right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it. That's what matters, right? And then in my forehead. And just a little bit on like the sides of the nose, especially at the creases. Kind of all over the nose because I grabbed a little bit too much on my hand. Alright. So then I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I don't remember what shade it is because I actually have it in an air pump. That way, number one, I can see when I'm running low because it just pushes it up. And I got sick of using that, paddle thing on my face. So I just put it in a separate bottle. And I'm just going to use a flat top kabuki to put it all over my face. I do, work it into the brush quite a bit before putting the brush on my face. That way I'm not putting too much product on my face, but it's actually going in to the brush and being evenly distributed. And it does provide a super nice coverage. I think it's only it used to be like $5, but then they raised the price, of course, and now I think it's $7. They do have a dewy one as well, if you like a more dewy finish, but I haven't tried that one, and I prefer having a matte one that I can make look more dewy with primers. That way I get to control it rather than it being pre-mixed. How to make the foundation faces, you guys will have to let me know if you like the look of this. I have kind of a weird setup, but I don't really have anywhere else I could set up. So my mirror is hanging off the edge of my vanity. And I'm doing my best to look at you guys and make sure I'm actually doing my makeup well. So like I said, you'll just have to let me know if it looks good, if you like this format, all that good stuff. So now that that is on, we're going to move on to our next step, which is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I have the shade Fair 07 because I'm pale as a ghost. And that's just all there is to it. I'm just using a little bit under the eyes, bridge of my nose. Oh, that wasn't a straight line. Creases on my nose, Cupid's bow, my forehead, chin, and then I do like to do just a little bit under my cheekbone, even when I'm not doing like a super contoured look. I do just like to bring that out a little bit more. And I use even a denser brush to blend it all in. And it blends out really quickly. You don't need a whole lot. This is also super affordable. The only downfall with ColourPop is that sometimes it's hard to get a hold of because for the most part they're just online. I know some Ulta stores, if they're open, carry some ColourPop, but none of them carry all of it. So you're kind of hit and miss on what you're gonna find at an Ulta store. So most of the time you have to order it online, and they've been, for a lot of face products, they've been out of stock because they just opened back up, and I don't think they're manufacturing again yet. So like my favorite concealer that they make, which is their other one, the No Filter, the matte concealer, they've been out of that for months, and I haven't been able to get more of it, even though I'm out. But now that our concealer's all blended out, I am just gonna put a little bit of powder under my eyes because I know that there's probably gonna be fallout with this look, and we want as little of that as we can get. You do always want to make sure that your concealer is patted out, doesn't have any creases in it before you start putting powder on, because if you have creases in it when you put powder in, you're going to have creases all day. And this is so cute. It's my little Blendiful from Tati Beauty. I just got them a week ago maybe, so I've kind of been playing around with them. I do like to set the corners of my nose too, because those crease really quickly. Now I am going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I use the shade Eden. And if you want to get this product, I would always suggest waiting until the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, because it's usually half off, if not like 30% off at that sale. And I just don't think I could recommend buying it at full price, because it's like $30 or something like that. But if you get it during 21 Days of Beauty, then it's $12 or $15. It might be $24 full price, but still, it lasts a long time, and if you get it at a 21 Days of Beauty, you probably won't need another one until the next 21 Days of Beauty, if even then, because you only just use a little bit. Boom. I also wouldn't use like the wand to put it on, because you're going to get way too much product on, and then you're going to have a totally different issue with your eye makeup rather than it creasing or not lasting very long. So our eye look today that we're going to be doing, it's a little intense, not going to lie, but it's super fun. I think I haven't like tried it out yet. I just have a concept, and I was swatching different blues for like an hour in my collection trying to find the ones I wanted. It was probably the first time that I've really wanted one of the ColourPop monochromatic palettes, the Blue Moon palette, but I don't have it, so we're going to be using 3 different palettes today. The first palette we're using is the Tati Beauty palette, and I am going to use the shade Aura, this matte white, just to set the whole lid and go under the brow bone so that we have a really easy time blending everything else out. So what are you guys doing for the 4th of July? Do you have any big plans? I know a lot of people normally like to go to the lake or have parties, but with COVID, I guess I don't know if people are still planning on doing that or if they're just staying home. I personally am just staying home, but I know I'm not everyone, so who knows what people are doing these days, right? The next shade we're going to use is from the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette, and I know it looks super intense in the pan, but it's not as intense on the lid. We're using the shade Karaoke, and I'm just going to go in with that same brush that I was blending out Laura with, and we're going to go right up into the crease and a little bit above the crease. So I just want that nice wash of blue, especially up here. I don't want it to be too intense. I just want, you know, you to see that there's blue there. Just blending it out nicely. It's blending really well with Aura, I think, that it's not getting too intense, but you can tell it's there. So I am just going to do the same thing on the other eye, and then I'll be back for the next step. So now that both eyes are blended out with that Karaoke blue from the Party Animal palette, I'm going to use the shade Game Over. This is from an Ipsy collaboration with Tetris. So I don't know if this one's still available or not, but when I was swatching out all those blues earlier, this was the one that I was like, oh, I have to use this one. So I'm just starting by packing it on the crease, or the lid, excuse me, only about halfway through, then going up into the crease just on the outer edge, really just building up the intensity of that blue on the lid. If it's not perfectly half, don't worry, we're not leaving it there. That's not what we're ending with, but you do want to make sure they're pretty blended together. And don't worry if it gets a little bit down here, we're gonna work with the lower lash line as well. But for the most part, that is what I want for the lid. Get real close so you guys can see it. Make sure that you are getting by that lash line so that there's no gaps, no white showing through, because since I'm going to be using glitter on this look, I'm not going to be using liner. If you wanted to, you are definitely more than welcome to, but it's not something I'm going to be doing just because trying to drag liner over glitter just becomes a whole mess in my experience. So I'm just going to do this other eye and then I'll be right back. Before I do anything else, I am just going to blend with that same brush I had Karaoke on. Just get the two colors more evenly blended so it doesn't look too harsh or anything like that. And this really is what I want right now, because the next thing we're going to do is take our No Filter concealer, this one right here in the shade 00. It's completely white. We are going to do a half cut crease. So not the whole thing, because we don't want to lose that beautiful blue that we have built up. But you're going to take a flat shader brush, put some on your hand, dip right in there, and then get really close. I'll get really close. You don't have to necessarily, but just go about halfway across your lid. Just like that. So when you're looking straight on, it's right over the center of your eye. You could always do a full cut crease if you want. I just prefer to do half with something that I've, built up shadow for. And it doesn't necessarily have to be completely in the inner corner, but a little bit won't hurt either. Just do the other side. If it looks a little blue, don't worry, because we are going to go in with a second layer on the other side of the brush. Just go over it and build up the intensity of that white concealer. So turn your brush over to the clean side. Get lots of white on it and just, not too much obviously, but just put it on there so it's not blue. And then I like to pat it out with my finger. Like that. There we go. So that's what it should look like. You should have that deep, brilliant blue on the outside and that white just on the center, because we are going back into the Tati palette. We are going to use from the Glitter Row Aura right here, because it's this beautiful white glitter and it reminds me of fireworks. So I thought it was perfect for the 4th of July because you're going to get so many colors. And one thing I love about this, I barely tap my finger in. You can see there's so much glitter on there. And you don't need any primer or anything. You just pat it, and look how intense that already is. Crazy. You just want to go over the white part where you cut the crease. You get this beautiful white and blue sparkly effect. And you really do want to like push it on and go a little bit over the blue. That's why I only cut the crease a little. That way it looks more blended because the blue is under there. So I'm going to do the other eye quickly. And now that I have the glitter where I want it on both eyes, I am just going to take this shadow brush and just tap lightly on the edge where the glitter is, just so it's even a little bit more blended. And that will be most of our eye look. I'm going to take this crease brush real quick here, tap it out on my hand, and just run it a little bit under the eye. Nothing too crazy. Partly to just pick up that glitter that fell as part of the fallout, but just a little bit under the eye. So there's a little shadow because we really don't want a ton under the eye with this, but just a little bit of enhancement. So now I'm going to get the majority of the glitter and the powder that I had on here off the corner of this Tati Beauty Blendiful, the little puff right here, because I don't want that glitter sitting under my eye all day. So I am going to dip into a little bit more powder just to try and sweep it away. But just be warned, if you do use glitter, it's going to be on everything. Everything for a long time, going to be glitter. And that's just how life goes. So now I'm going to do just a little bit, I think, of contouring. Nothing crazy. Just gonna take this Cocoa Contour palette, because I really did enjoy it, and go into the lightest contour shade very lightly with this little teeny brush. Just kind of give my cheekbones some definition. Just a little bit on my jaw too. Not too much, because I am still going to bronze up just a little bit, because I found a bronzer that I've been really enjoying. I typically don't use a lot of bronzer, but my sister had given me this matte bronzer from Ulta, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. I really like it. I was surprised because it's pretty warm for what I would normally use. And your bronzer should be the bridge between where your contour is and where your blush is going to be. Just going to warm up the perimeter of the face a little bit. But since I'm so pale, I only use a little teeny tiny bit. I really tap the excess off of the brush when I'm using this product. And I am using those expensive brushes I got in that BoxyCharm because I figure I have them, so I might as well use them. They really are nice. I just can't in good conscience recommend that you guys go spend $90 on 2 brushes. But if you have them, use them because they are nice. I feel like I have a little bit more of a face now. I have some definition there. I'm gonna do my nose real quick if I can find the brush. I am gonna use the contour powder and not the bronzer for my nose. And then I'm gonna use the highlight shade under my eyes. So this is how I do my nose, just very, very lightly. Because I have kind of a bigger schnoz. Just down to the end, but my mother says that when I was little, we lived in a house and the previous owners had cats. And if you didn't know, I am very allergic to cats. But we didn't know that at the time, so I'm just using this highlight powder now. I would go to bed every night and get sick, and I would rub my nose because I got sick. And that is potentially why the bottom of my nose is so much wider, because I smushed down the cartilage that was in my nose. So once we figured it out, I had to take allergy medication every night when we lived in that house. So I was a fun, drugged up child. Always been a fun, drugged up child because of all my back and forth at the hospitals. But you know, is life. I really like the way my skin looks today. It looks a lot better than yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched my Snapchat, but yesterday I was trying that really awful foundation. It was the 3rd time I'd tried it, and I haven't liked it any of the times I've tried it, but I kept giving it another try because it was recommended by one of my favorite YouTubers, and I was like, am I doing something wrong? But I used the same products that I'm using today, so clearly it's not me, it's not the products, it was just that foundation. I am going to blush my face now with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Diffused Heat. It's really pretty. Just get a nice wash of color. It's not too intense. We don't really want to take too much away from our eyes with intensity. I like to use a big brush for blush, either an angled one or like a big fluffy brush like this. What do you guys like to use? I don't put blush on my nose. I know a lot of people are doing that recently, but I have, you know, a very red rosy undertone. Just stab myself in the eye. And so I don't really like to do that. But I'm gonna curl my lashes now. Look like I'm torturing myself with this, but it's okay. Also, I know my brows are like atrocious right now, but we're in the middle of a pandemic and I'm terrified to leave my house, so I don't, and my brows just have not been done. One of these days they will be, but for now I look like I have caterpillars on my face. What you gonna do? Now I'm going to use, if I can find, aha, here it is. My mascara, my Urban Decay Troublemaker mascara. This one's my favorite mascara. And I'm sorry if you like what you see, you can't get it anymore because they discontinued it, but I mean, look at that. Literally one coat. Wearing all this blue eye makeup makes me realize how green my eyes are because they stand out so much against it. Kind of funny. So I got mascara there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to leave it for right now. And if you're somebody who gets mascara under your eye a lot, I will show you a trick. That way you can get rid of it and not have to redo your whole face. Because it happens to all of us. And I did not do that on purpose. It just happened. Probably because I was talking and not paying attention to what I was doing, but it's a good moment to show you guys a little tip I use. Does everybody else make the mascara face too, like when they're doing their lower lashes? I don't even know if I need a second coat. I don't really think I do, but I like to go through with a spoolie, clean spoolie, and just separate my lashes even further. It does so much. Makes such a difference, I think, at least. What the heck? While we're waiting for that mascara to dry, I'll do a second coat. Just on my upper lashes. This is why I've never even tried to use falsies, because this mascara looks like falsies. Yeah, no need for fake lashes when you got really nice mascara. So now I'm going to get rid of this little friend right here. I'm going to take a different clean spoolie, and we're just going to pick him up. There's a little gray because it was a bigger blob than I expected. It wasn't quite dry. But not really much. Just gonna put a little bit more powder over it. Now it's like Mother Gothel says in Tangled, it never happened. Convenient. So really there's only a couple steps left. I'm going to highlight, and I thought it would be fun to use my rainbow highlighter from Wet n Wild because this also looks like a firework. I am just taking my fan brush and I'm going across so that I get all those colors. I'm just gonna go, and you can see the sheen. It's not super shiny, which is fine because our eyes are shiny for days. I'll just do my nose, my cheeks. And I don't use this one all the time because you can't see it quite as much on camera, but in person you can see more of the colors that are in here. Like, my forehead kind of looks green in person now for the most part, but it's fun to use for something like this. I'm gonna go for a Cupid's bow. And I am gonna take a little bit, probably mostly the pink shade, on my inner corner. I thought about using that new Ofra highlighter today, but then I remembered I had this one and I was like, I gotta use this one. Because it's got so many fun colors, just like all the fireworks will. And last, we have our lips. If you've been paying attention that this is a 4th of July look, I bet you can figure out what color we're using. Red. So I'm going to line my lips first. Oh, you can't see that. Like I said in my first video, I really do not overline my lips. I do kind of spread my lip liner like it's a balm almost. That way, if you're eating a lot, you know, whatever, and all your lipstick has come up, you still have your lip liner, so you still have that red look. But we're using one of my favorite formulas today, and I'm going to use my Snow White lipstick from ColourPop because this is really one of the reddest reds you could use. There we go. It is bright red, and I just love it. It really does look like a Snow White red. I think you can still get those on ColourPop.com, but like I said, they've been out of a lot of things recently. But we're going to just use our Urban Decay All Nighter, which is my favorite setting spray, and douse ourselves in it. Douse. And then we have our beautiful red, white, and blue look for 4th of July. I hope you guys like this look. If you don't, let me know. Or if you want to see more tutorials like this, like I said, I know the setting isn't completely great, and I can't always look straight at the camera because I don't have a camera right beside my mirror. But let me know your feedback. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you do something fun like this for 4th of July. I'm going to go edit this right away now because today's July 2nd, tomorrow is July 3rd, so you'll need it by tomorrow if you want to wear it on the 4th. And like, comment, share, subscribe. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I am going to be doing a giveaway, so share it with all your friends because the more of them that subscribe, the sooner we get to do a giveaway. And it was really fun to go on this adventure with you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.